Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Hello, I'm so excited for this series of videos. We haven't done it in 3 months from the last that came out, so it was about time.
Yeah, we are ready and going for it. This is a color review. Today, if you haven't guessed already, we're talking about red, um, and what it does to the meta and how it's going to change this
Yeah,
set.
the scope. It's our thoughts, our opinion. The red has been such a dominant color for two sets now. It would disappear, then it would come back. So is set three going to continue that? Let us know early. Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think? Are you
Yeah,
guys excited
absolutely.
for Ace?
I know there's a few people that are.
I'm J Rock. Shout out him. He's been waiting for this guy. I know we saw that alt in the. I'm gonna link it for the news. That beautiful full art ace. Ooh, I know he's frothing at the mouth for that boy.
I'm sure he is. But
Ace.
red red. They get 1 leader this set. It's ace.
Yeah,
You can ditch event cards from your hand to give them an extra 1,000 boost.
attacking or
Um,
defending.
yeah. So I think on declaration of attack you have to do it,
Hmm.
and then instead of like, it's probably like on declaration attack against him, you have to do it before blockers, before counter, and all that.
That would make the most sense going into battle as well, like for the steps. But it also gives us as players, especially for I'm guessing me and you, who are very used to a very structured like combat phase, minus Dragon Ball. So it's not. It's going to be interesting to see how this effect gets layered in, and what other effects that are similar in the future that are going to be layered like this.
Yeah, and it's pretty different. It's an interesting idea to ditch a card that has a an effect, especially like these ones for
Right.
just 1,000 also. Because looking at like the event cards, which we got a ton of,
Mm-hmm.
um, one of them's going to be KO and 8K. Another one is a counter, so minus 4K,
Yep.
KO stuff
Yep.
plus 4K. So you have these cards that do other things, and you're just gonna, or like if you go back and think of Red Hawks and Jet
Jet
Pistol,
pistols. Yeah.
everything, they have really good effects already. So you have to determine at some point this is actually worth more as a 1,000 counter
Right.
than uh, doing whatever it actually does. So it's an interesting way to play. Um,
I think
I
deck
don't.
building wise too, it's super interesting. Like I have a lot of fun building blue and purple croc. They have a very similar kind of concept where they're able to use event cards just a little differently, and it gives freedom of cards too. You in typical red building right now, I gotta imagine the event cards are very low. I don't think other than jet pistol, I don't think people are really playing event cards. It's too slow. It's too chunky. They can end up dead. But with Ace, they always have value. You can always use it as 1,000 defense, so they essentially have counter power instilled in them. And you could play those cool ones like Jambe. If you're playing the Whitebeard engine, you could play the Whitebeard Searcher. Emperor is a great card. This Fire Fist Ace card with the beautiful alt is a wonderful card. Like there's so many things you could do, and even thinking futurely, we're always gonna get 3 to 4, maybe a couple more event cards every set. So Ace always has that potential to change, to get a little better, to get a little worse. And he's going to grow with each set. So it's really exciting, I think, for Red as a archetype that's been very one dimensional so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And this set expands on the Whitebeard archetype that we started last set, which is nice.
Yeah.
We built up on red the first set. We got a little bit more. We started doing Whitebeards in set two. Now we're getting more Whitebeard pirates. I believe there's only like 4 characters that aren't Whitebeard out of the 20 cards that they we got this set,
Yeah.
being the 2 Odyssey cards, Buggy, which you probably is built to play in this deck anyways,
Yeah.
and the Garp card, which the Garp
It's
card.
pretty good. It's a pretty
So
interesting card.
yeah, and so far I've just been thinking about mono red, but we have to consider there's black red from set two, which is
Yep.
Garp. We have green red from set one.
Hmm.
Garp and green red Law,
And Luffy, yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And in Luffy, it's disgusting
It's
because
pretty
you,
fun, yeah.
yeah. I mean, the green red Luffy is like whatever, anyways. But Law has been destroying stuff and just giving it another flavor, being able to add stuff that brings out a one cost, which is what the Garp does,
Hmm.
is crazy because you can play your blockers off of that. You can, or not your blockers, you can play your searchers off of that.
Hmm.
Um,
It does
it's
say red though. That's like the one thing I think. Been the fun thing about law in general has been the deck building, and this is absolutely a card that I could see have potential. You know, they said the same thing about the film cards in set two. Like law is able to play basically anything, and mentioning the dot on, the Whitebeard Pirates have been pretty well. Like Whitebeard has been topping and seeing very strong play in set two. They just got a searcher. That's probably one of the big highlights. And it's a one drop. They're playing dot on already. So this just slides right into that deck, just increasing its consistency. And it's going to match even better with Zoro. And I have to imagine going to be another very strong deck into set three. Very, very exciting, to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think overall the red cards that are coming out of this aren't going to be playable alone, but by the time you get to set three, uh, I don't think you're thinking about that. We got an extra color, so we have six whole colors in this set. Um, you have to have cards that build on your archetypes at this point. You have to be building and building, or starting from scratch and disregarding, like in a set rotations type of mindset.
Sure.
I think that this is a good continuation of set two. I don't think it stands out enough on its own. Like I wouldn't take these 20 cards and try to make a deck out of them. I'm going to be pulling a lot of like Vistas and maybe even Jozu's from set two. Um, I'm just scanning, trying to see did we get a red 2K counter, and I don't see one.
No, you're absolutely right. That's something I didn't look for. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
there's any standalone cards. If there was one, I think Fire Fist Ace is probably, or the Fire Fist event card is probably the most interesting one. But again, if we're looking at red deck building right now, it's very, very hyper aggressive. They usually don't have time for these event cards, so it's a different style of deck. I think Ace has a ton of potential the later and later the game goes. So always keep him on your radar. This buggy card's aim as well. The more and the more event cards that gain value, the more and more buggy will gain value. I think this is a good set for red just because I think it's going to slow it down. I think red, like I said, has been very one dimensional, and I think this archetype is trying to suggest different gameplay for red. Better or worse will be late to see for the meta, I think. I don't know if it'll have a strong entrance off the gate, but give it another set or two. I think red just get a couple more event cards, more interesting ones. Uh, Ace's potential is limitless.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the last note that I have is there is one card that had haste. It can attack into your leader that turn, that first turn, but it's a 3 drop 4K with rush. Um, yeah, this guy here. So another rush card, 3 drop 4K, maybe in Zoro. That's a 3 drop 5K with rush, clearing your opponent's board with this card, and then coming back, hopefully for a second turn into leader at 5K. It's a 3 drop, so it's kind of weird, but also probably totally fine to be playing. Um, that's another thing I was thinking about is how does this affect like a Zoro? You might add some of this stuff, but honestly, I would imagine that Zoro drops in value with less like low drop aggressive stuff.
Right.
Um, and speaking of low drops, the highest drop is a Marco. There we go. That's my final words. It's wild.
Yeah, no big drops for red. Considering no spoiler for other colors. Other colors got some pretty large drops. That was an issue when we were reviewing purple that I was slowly starting to creep on. But I don't think red is gonna miss this too much. Red got the best large drop last set, and Whitebeard, so they're just gonna keep probably playing him. So I don't think red's gonna suffer too much from that. Luckily, I think red will probably stay very comfortable in its meta spot, being very high A tier, S tier, wherever you wanna power rank them. I think Whitebeard slightly goes up. Zoro probably slightly comes down. Law will always gain up in value with every card that comes out. So,
Mhm.
positive set. I'm excited to see what happens to Ace in a couple sets. I gotta imagine we might be talking about him again in a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. When we start seeing set four stuff, I hope that they're gonna help push a couple more events his way so that he feels like he gains value and just doesn't disappear, like I imagine some other leaders in the set will probably do.
It might happen. It might happen. But that is our pretty quick review on Red. I think
Yeah,
it's
first glance.
first glance, it's gonna still be good, guys. I don't see Red just falling off a cliff, especially jumping out of the gate of set three. These are all pluses for Whitebeard. That is has been a top five in popularity alone, but having been successful as well, it's just gonna be better now with the Searcher. So it's gonna be exciting, gonna be scary. We're not getting rid of Whitebeard yet.
No, I don't think so. But that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you all for watching. Hit that subscribe, and in the next one, see you around in the next one. That's what I say. Later.
Bye, guys.
Whew.
That's funny.